Okay. Oh, all right. Let's get started. So what you're looking at now is just a Zoom presentation, but it's a Zoom presentation where I'm using as a virtual camera. And of course, maybe you've heard of before, and you know that you can use it to show slides and other visuals in an interesting way. But it's also really good for showing videos. So if you're teaching a film component in your class or a video making kind of class, I just wanted to show you one thing that I've done this week, showing films. So the students make the films, they're short documentary videos. Normally we would watch them together in class. We could watch it and then go back and critique and so on, but we can't do that. So we do something like this. So I might go, today is day 2 of our videos. So today we have 6 students up. So let's get started with the first one right now. Okay, so the first student is named Yu. Yu has an interview that he did, which is really cool. So let's take a look at this right now.
僕も多趣味でいろいろ一気に始めちゃうんですけど、やることが大事なんですよ。続けることよりも。中学3年の夏。
Now I'll stop it here. I'm not going to show the whole video, but I just wanted to show you that you can scrub through it. So after we watch the entire interview, we can go back and look at different things. If I want to critique some composition, for example, we could go here. I can grab a pointer and we could talk about, for example, in the composition, I can bring myself back. So we can talk about composition, like good use of rule of thirds here. We can see a concept of closure, which we've talked about in class, good use of, simple text, good bokeh, and so on. So we can just go through the whole film step by step and talk about composition, shooting, and editing. You started with a J cut right at the beginning, and so on and so on. Then we can go on to the next student and start her video. And how I usually do it is I do something like this, where
私
I
にとって和紙人形と
disappear.
は私の考え方とか生き方とか価値観を伝えるものなんです。
Anyway, you get the idea. But you could also do something like this. So you could use this kind of room where, especially in a filmmaking class, where we're kind of together in this theater, and now we're going to screen the student film. So again, let's start. Our first film will be Miyu, and her title is called Family for Me. And then let's play it right now. Okay, so you can use for showing video and sharing video and watching them same time with your students. But of course, you can just show slides like this, like a simple graph, and then you could put yourself inside the chart as you talk more about it. This one's easy to see anyway, but if you had a chart that was more complicated, it'd be nice if you could fill the screen, but still keep yourself somewhere in there. Or let's imagine that you are teaching about the solar system to young children, and you could say, well, if I were hot, I'd be up here as the sun, but since I'm more large and gassy, maybe Jupiter is more appropriate, and we won't even talk about that planet over there. Or let's say you're talking about the speed of light, and you could have a discussion with students about the speed of light, and then of course you can bring in your answer there to the question of how fast just is the speed of light in terms of mph. And then you could ask the question then, if it's that fast, how long does it take the light from the moon to reach the earth? And that's a little over a second. That's right, Johnny. Tell him what she's won. Now this is just a photograph, but a slide made inside, and then the image and text are combined. So you can do it this way. It's very straightforward. You can also, what I just learned this today, is that you can edit the photo and remove the background outside of and save it as a PNG file, for example. So it's really nice. So you can use slides like this, or you can take images, put the photographs inside like this, and even remove the background. This is another example. This is an example of one of the rooms, and there are hundreds, and you can make your own as well. So let's say, for example, we're talking about Japanese body wash, and we wanted to focus just on this one. So again, we can remove the background outside of and put it back in. There isn't a drop shadow feature yet, at least that I've found, but perhaps in the future. So you can see here I've added the drop shadow. Okay, let's say something like this. So you're in your office and you're giving a lecture about anatomy or something like that. So you could do it like this, but you want to make it larger, then you could go something like this. And you can go to the pointer tool, and there's something called a magnifying glass. So you could use that to zoom in on things. You could even zoom in on yourself if you wanted to, but that's kind of strange. Anyway, so you can see this. So here's the clavicle over here, and here's the heart. That's what that is, if you're wondering, and so on. Anyway, I would get real medical advice. Or you could, again, traditional slide like this, but you could put yourself in it like this. Or again, this is one of the rooms, and you could adjust your slides, the aspect ratio and the orientation of your slides. It could be something like this. That's a keynote slide. Or you can go full screen like this, or over the shoulder like this. Anyway, I think that is pretty friggin' cool, so you can quote me on that. It also has hand gestures that you can use, so I often use the heart one, or you can say, good job, or we're number one, or if you have any questions, don't forget to call me later. What else is there? Anyway, you can look. There's many different ones. You go to Hawaii, you can use this one. Anyway, I think that's it. So I really love It's early days for me playing around with it, and I think early days for the company. So it's just something that's going to get better. Just use it as a virtual camera. All right, so I got to go for now. We'll see you later. The rain is going to start. Look at that. It's getting a little bit rainy. Oh, here comes the rain. Look at that. All within Great. Looks like a summer day in Seattle.